Suddenly snow just and wind picks up and starts blowing it, and immediately visibility is like zero. And you look and just blinded by all the snow. It's like you look up, the clouds are so dark above you that it's like midnight. And then you hear a rumble. And the ground beneath you shakes. And suddenly you hear screams coming from the back of the caravan. And people starting to panic and yell. The screams continue to grow, and you hear the rumbling getting louder and louder coming behind you. And you see people trying to rush past you. The wind is so stiff against you that you're having a hard time fighting against it as it's blowing right up the mountain towards you. The snow is hitting and is blowing up all directions. Welcome to Severed Sons, everyone. We are a D&D Frostmaiden actual play podcast, and this is our first episode, and we're very excited to bring this story to you and these wonderful characters. And my name is Ron Murphy. I'll be your DM for the whole campaign. So let's hear from all of our cast, and let me know your name and your character's name and a little bit about you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Paul Gary, and in this campaign, I am playing Donar Dracodonian, aka Donar the Pliable. I'm a Dragonborn monk, green Dragonborn, and he's just a chill party dude. What can I say? You're gonna love him.
Hi, my name is Ross Griffin. I am playing Fang, who is a shifter light cleric of the shifter subcategories. He's a long tooth. He is kind of resemblant of a hyena, so he has these kind of like rounded ears on the top of his head with underneath like a long mane of black hair. But he's really nice. He's really built, and he's kind of really awkward. All of his smiles is just kind of like a grimace of sharp teeth. It's not very appealing, but that's Fang. We'll see where it goes.
I'm Blake Graham, and I'm playing Kai Raiju. He is a human rogue for now. He's kind of the perfect shinobi ninja stereotype. This guy looks like he could kick your ass. And he might.
My name is Josh Helgeson. I am playing Mud in this campaign. Mud is a turtle fighter. He is a traveler, a wanderer. He is an ex-sensei from his wandering tribe, from which he is now banished. And he's just trying to do something really, really great.
My name is Zach Burrell. I play Trax Barbfoot. He's a kobold artificer. He is on the hunt for someone. He's very smart. He's a pretty big asshole. But hopefully he'll get along with this crazy cast of characters.
The mountain of snow fell on your caravan as you were entering the valley leading into the Icewind Dale. You remember being picked up bodily and tossed about, snow blinding you in the night sky as the aurora beams down on you and you're lying there in the snow, and suddenly snow covers you completely in blackness. Several days later, you awaken. You have 5 levels of exhaustion.
Ooh. That hurts already.
And you have this cloudy image of a bearded man digging you out, a dog yapping at his heels. You look around, you see bodies everywhere, crushed wagons, crushed barrels of ale that were just tossed aside. The man picks you all up and puts you into a wagon, into a dog sled. And he has several sleds. You're all just barely on the edge of consciousness. You can't really even say anything. And you feel yourselves being dragged into the distance as the dog's barking, dragging you through the snow, the bumpy ride making you all pass out from the exertion. You awaken and you see a walled city in front of you. There's these tall wooden walls with walkways on top, and you see men walking across, all bundled in furs. As you walk past, you see this, what to your dimmed eyes, looks like a statue, like an icy statue, just built up, like almost about 30 feet tall. And you see, like, it looks like frozen things have been attached to it. But you can't see any more detail in the snow that's whipping past you. Several days pass, and you've been recovering at the Three Flags Sailing Tavern.
3, 1, 2, 3, or freedom?
1, 2. No. Three.
Okay.
Three Flags Sailing. It's not really an inn, but you remember being brought here, and the proprietor, a woman named Ethel Yarborough, who's a great plump gray-haired widow, has been nursing you back to health. She kind of been treating you like her children, and she fusses over all the sailors and the fishers who come in grumpy from a hard day's work. But in the common room, it's actually just another room that's attached to the tavern. There is a second floor, but Ma stays there. And it's been several days. You're finally getting to where you're kind of back up on your feet. Sorry, it is currently Alliance the 14th. The next day is the new moon, and apparently you've been here in town a few days. You know that the speaker of the town, each town in 10 towns has a speaker who is the leader, elected leader, and the speaker is currently a man named Nereth Maxidanar. And you don't know much about him. You haven't met him. You know he stays in the other tavern that's in town, the Luskan Arms. The Luskan Arms was full up, but you were brought here to recuperate.
We're in Targos, yeah?
Yes, we are in Targos, yes. You're in the common room, and Ma has basically roped it off and has been nursing you back to health and bringing you fish stew and bread. And it's not the tastiest thing in the world, but it is filling, and it is bringing you back to health. You've been hearing rumors in the tavern. You can hear the fishers talking about, I hope my son doesn't get picked. I'm just really nervous. My time is coming. I can feel it. My luck is running out. And you hear people just like really nervously talking. Ma is like, you just don't worry about that. If Arl says your time is up, then Arl will come for you. And she kind of bundles back into the back room where you're sitting. Well, how are you boys doing? Are you guys you're kind of awake now?
Yes.
Can I get you anything?
Thanks for this meal, Ma. Forgive me. I wasn't dropping eaves, but I hear upset gentleman outside.
Well, you know about the everlasting rhyme, don't you? I mean,
everlasting crime. I do not. I'm sorry. What is?
We've been unconscious for the past 5 days. I don't know.
Oh, when Garrett brought you in, he said there was like a caravan, but he didn't say where you were from. So this is like the most awake you've been all week.
Forgive me. We We are from all over. We just we joined the caravan to come to your lovely Icewind Dale, as you call
It's
it.
very lovely.
All right.
But forgive us. What is there anything you need to know about us? I mean, you've spent time with us, and you.
Well, Garrett, he's a lovely boy. He's a trapper, and he's a wilderness guide, and he just left a couple of days ago to take some adventurers up to Kelvin's Cairn. But he asked me to look after you until you were well enough to take care of yourselves.
Was Garrett the gentleman with the beard?
Very beard. Dogs, lots of dogs.
I think I remember Garrett.
He's a good gentleman, and he is rare in these types, so I wanted to help him out because he's helped me out in the past. So,
Were we the only people you found?
Garrett said there were no survivors except for you five.
Yikes.
Unfortunately, for the town, he managed to bring back 4 casks of ale.
Only 4.
The fishermen were quite happy about that. We were running low.
Where might we get some of this?
Oh, would you like some ale?
I would love some, yes.
Do you have any coin on you? I mean, he gave me some a few gold to cover your stay here, but you need to pay for your own drinks.
Yes, I've got a little bit, yes. Just bring it to me, please.
5 copper, please. And she goes back and brings back a lot of. She has like a full tray, 5 drinks, puts them on the table.
Did you all want anything?
Well, I was going to offer to pay the copper for my homies here.
Okay,
in an
yes.
act of good deed as we are recovering from our
Yes,
exhaustion.
indeed. Mhm.
To pair with the stew. I didn't want to jump in, but I have been blessed with a bit of pocket change.
That's fine. Thank you. Yeah, blah, 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 yes.
Well, Donar, that is very kind of you. Thank you. Thanks.
Well, anything to help increase the vibes. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's frickin' cold here. I've been in the dumps, man, last few days. So anything to help out my homies.
It's really not that bad.
You look over, and all of your winter clothes have been hanging by the fire that's in this side room, drying out. They were completely soaked. It was part of the reason why you were in such danger after the avalanche.
Anyway, my companion Fang, he mentioned something about a gentleman speaking in terror about sun, blah, blah, blah.
The everlasting crime, I believe it was.
The
is what
rhyme.
you said.
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
correct.
It has been it's actually been over. It's been over 2 years since we've seen the sun. And you look out, and it's dark out. It's like there's just a little bit of light filtering, like through the dark clouds overhead.
So,
But
A curse?
seasonal depression for everyone, right?
Yo, is that why I've been so sad?
That's
That makes
probably
sense, man.
Arl, the goddess of the winter, has laid a curse upon Icewind Dale and the 10 towns.
Wait, what name was that again?
Auril. Auril. The Frostmaiden.
Well, how do you break this curse?
We've been trying. Each town has its own methods, its own sacrifices.
I'm sorry to be brusque, but it appears that none of them are the correct method.
Yeah, if
2
you tried
years?
just talking to her, I'm sure you could work something out over
Oh,
a
yes,
nice
it's
smoke.
We've
talk
been-
to someone powerful enough to bring this devastation.
Auril
down.
is a god. She is a goddess.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm glad she's got that kind of self-confidence. All of us are gods in our own right.
I think,
is
I think she means
idiotic.
literally.
Oh shit! Oh fuck! I had no idea. That's gnarly.
Every night at midnight, this colorful cascade of light covers the sky as Auril casts her spell. The winters have been getting colder and colder. In summer, there is no sun. There is no summer. It's been 2 years of nothing but frost and cold and snow building and building up. So all of the 10 towns are at our last wits. The speaker several towns, 3 towns in particular, have implemented lotteries. Every month, at the new moon, a lottery is drawn, and one citizen is chosen to be a sacrifice.
I'm sorry. Wouldn't you have stopped that when you realized, I'm sorry, 2 years ago that didn't work?
I agree with Trax. That seems...
It could have been worse. Arl could be waiting to freeze us all where we stand. This is a hard life up here. You'll find that out. I imagine that you are stuck here.
Are the sacrifices continuing still?
There is a lottery this afternoon.
Boy.
What happens to them?
It depends on the city. And also, all the cities don't do sacrifices. Some cities go, everyone in the town must forego heat for an evening. And some sacrifice a portion of their food. The larger towns, because we have many furs, many coats, lots of winter wear, lots of food, the only way we can get Arl to listen to us and spare us is to make a sacrifice. And I hate it as much as you, but it's the only thing that seems to be working. We one of the first months the Rime was happening, we went without a sacrifice. We tried to skip a month, and there was an entire month where snow and ice just covered us up 12 feet. We couldn't even get our doors open.
So what you are seeing here...
Arl is here in the 10 towns. She is angry, and we must appease her.
There must be more to that. Why is she so angry? Why do you keep just satiating her for this brief amount of time? Why don't you just, I don't know, can you sacrifice 20 people and then just be done with it?
I do not know how it works.
That's very clear.
Jax, do not be mean to Ethel, man. She served us fish stew, dude.
Oh, call me Ma. Call me Ma.
Delicious. Mm.
Well, Ma over here does not deserve your barbs, Mr. Foot.
That's clever. That's my last name. Yes,
Dude, you like the joke? I haven't made a joke in freaking 5 days, dude. I'm so stoked it landed.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you, dude.
I'm going
That's
to
doing
miss
alright.
it.
Fucking hilarious.
In any case, you boys just rest up, and I'll bring you some more. Do you need some more ale?
Please.
Always.
No.
If you ever want to smoke a little bit, just let us know.
She kind of looks at you and like,
I just figured I'd offer, like, not to make you uncomfortable. Not everybody likes it.
Yeah, I feel like that thing's kind of, it's a taboo. It's not all out there yet.
Is it not all wet?
Surprisingly, no, I don't know how it happened, but it all survived the fall.
It's airtight.
Wonderful.
There's a secret pocket for sure.
Yeah.
Airtight container of sorts.
Yeah.
And you can put your weed in it.
I do not mess around when it comes to the dank.
How blessed we are.
Yeah, dude. We're gonna make it happen, Mud. One of these days, you're gonna smoke down and you'll get it.
One of these days, indeed.
Ma walks away.
As she does, I'd like to lean in to the group and say, I'm a little concerned about this Arl character. And
just a little.
This everlasting crime. I think that we have found ourselves right in the middle of something pretty big.
Can you, talk to her? That's your kind of thing,
That's
right?
what I said, dude. We could just, try to talk to her. We gotta do something for the peeps.
Yes, let's just go up to a god and say, hey, I'm sorry, will you please stop the everlasting winter that you've cast on this land? Pretty please.
I agree.
That's a
I
great
think we are
start.
past talking.
Everyone make a perception check for me.
Oh my god.
First official roll.
Here we go. Ooh, 19. With my new wintry die.
Dirty 20.
12.
16.
Natural
Okay.
1.
Oh, my.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Josh started off right.
Okay. Mud, who has his hat
That's it for sure.
over his eyes, yeah, doesn't see this, but the other four of you, you think you see a shield dwarf, a heavy winter coat. She's got it on inside still, and She's got red cheeks and actually a little tiny, tiny beard. And she's been watching you and kind of listening a little bit.
When I realize that she's been listening, I'm gonna pull the strings on my jacket. I'm gonna cast disguise self and make myself appear to be a halfling once I realize that she's taken note of us.
Okay.
Your hood like shrink with the pulling of the strings. Like
Yeah, it kind of like zips in, and then the
I
little
love
face
that.
mask comes up.
What
tiniest
are
face.
you doing?
Look, I'm sure that being a kobold here is not exactly smiled upon.
Just don't use the voice, okay?
Dude, the
Sometimes
voice
I
is the
have to
best
use the
part.
voice.
Do the voice. Do the voice right now in front of everyone.
I'll use it when I need to, all right?
Okay, I'm sorry to put you on the spot, dude. I just got me good.
The dwarf takes a big swig of a mug of ale, sets it down, and kind of wanders up to the roped off section that Ma has set up to kind of keep the fishers from bothering you all. Well met.
Can we help you?
Well met to you there.
Well met to you. Dude, I told you.
I see that the survivors have woken up. I've heard of that you survived that avalanche that took out that last caravan.
Aye, we did survive that that bad avalanche there.
No.
takes more than an avalanche to kill
on,
us.
Is your friend okay? She points at Trax and says, "Is your friend okay?" He
No.
seems
No,
to
he's
have-
fine. The thing is, that is his real voice, too. Like
That is exactly
it's
my
great.
real voice. I've been speaking like this since I was born.
And he was Barn, man. He was a Barn, and that's where he learned.
She looks to the left, looks to the right, and holds out a pipe and looks right at Donar and says,
Yo! Not to interrupt.
Oh,
Sorry,
no.
I saw you were going to say something.
and she says, she kind of pulls back her cloak, her hood over her cape, and she's got a nasty scar. And she's elderly. She's just like one of the oldest dwarves you've seen ever. And she says, "Do you think I could come in? We could have a little smoke, have a little talk?"
My homies, what do you think about token up with this lass?
What happened to your face?
I've gotten into a few scraps in my time. My name is Hiln Trollbane. Actually, I've got the scar from that troll back here, but
Yeah, we don't need to see that one.
you see she has a battle axe as she like at her side as she pulls her cloak off and comes back through the rope that Ma put up and sits down next to all of you. She says, "So, I'm a bounty hunter, and I'm getting up in years, and I just can't keep this up any longer. Are you all needing something to do? You look like a strong group of people, now that you've gotten all healthy and everything."
A bounty hunter, you say?
I have an issue with somebody, and I need somebody to check it out and make sure my instincts are correct.
Well, who is this person you've been issuing about?
Oh.
Trax, was it? What was your name? Trax?
My name is Trax.
She kind of laughs and shakes her head and says, "So have you heard about the murders?"
Murders?
You mean the one that
Oh,
the
not the
townspeople are
sacrifices,
doing
not the
to their own
sacrifices, the
citizens?
murders.
Okay, not those.
No, we're not privy to any other killings that have been happening in this
In the
town.
past month, there have been 3 cold-blooded murders in the 10 towns. A halfling trapper in East Haven, a human shipbuilder here in Targos, and 3 days ago, a dwarf glass blower in Bryn Shander. Each victim was found with a dagger of ice through its heart.
Wow.
Interesting.
Sounds cold-blooded indeed.
And she takes a puff, like she holds her like shakes out the tobacco that's in her pipe and hands it over to Donar.
Oh, dude, I got your hookup right here. This is the Dank. Everyone say hello, Dank.
Hello, Dank.
Donar.
Hello, Donar.
And I'm going to pipe, right, the Donar Dank, and I'm going to pipe
I'm not
it. I'm
saying
going to
that.
pack it real nice. You don't have to
It's
say
done.
it if you
It's
don't
done.
want to,
I'm
but
not
I want.
gonna say it.
It's all right. We'll get you to do it. And I'll hand her
We're
back
gonna
her
do
pipe,
it.
and I'll say it. Now, everyone has a slightly different experience on the Dank. I saw you with your tobacco. It's not the greatest on the lungs, that tobacco. I do prefer the Dank. Has some additional properties. and I can't wait to see your spiritual journey through.
Anyway, please continue. Please continue with your story about the cold-blooded man.
I only have one suspect.
Today.
His name is Sefik Caltro. Sefik works for a small traveling merchant company named Torgs, owned and operated by a shady dwarf named Torga Icevein. In other words, Sefik gets around. They all do. They all get around all of the 10 towns. He's charming. He makes friends easily. He's also Torga's bodyguard, and I'm guessing he's good with a blade. His victims come from the only 3 towns that sacrifice people to the Frostmaiden on nights of the new moon. This is what passes for civilized behavior in Icewind Dale. Maybe the victims found a way to keep their names out of the drawings. And Sefik found out they were cheating, so he killed them. Maybe, just maybe, Sefik is doing the Frostmaiden's work. I followed Torg for a 10-day as it moved around from town to town. Quite the devious little enterprise, but that's not my concern. I suspect that Torga has lots of stolen goods in her merchant's caravan. What struck me is how comfortable Sefik Caltro looked in his weather. No coat, no scarf, no gloves. It was like the cold couldn't touch him. It's like he was kissed by the Frostmaiden. I will pay you 100 gold pieces to apprehend Sefik Caltro, ascertain his guilt, and deal with him. Preferably without notifying the authorities. And she kind of looks around. When the job is done, return to me to collect your money.
Hey, might I have a word with you?
I'm right here.
Private.
With me?
And I'll look to everyone else.
Not with us. You don't want.
Not just with her.
Okay, she takes her pipe and loaded up with the dank and walks out.
Private.
He looks like a shirt, dude. It's not a face.
Honestly, this is working way better than it has ever before, so let's just see where it goes.
This is a bad idea, right? He looks like a moron.
Trax, describe yourself currently.
So currently, I have put my hood up on my winter gear, and I pull some strings, and a little humanoid face pops up to hide his more dragonoid face, to appear to be more as a halfling, a short halfling, as not to arise suspicions, though it is pretty shitty, so most people are still suspicious.
As they should be.
You look over at Hiln, and she's smoking. She's like looking at the pipe and like nods to Donar from across the room.
I got you found. Dude, the dank does nothing but help. That my freaking grave.
She's kind of like
dank
ambling kind of
will help
closer,
us.
like wondering if your conversation is up because you've stopped talking.
No, we're just looking at you and talking about something different is all.
Fang leans in. He says, "Being a bounty hunter in a past life myself, this seems like a dangerous individual for only 100 gold pieces. Seems like it should be a higher bounty on his head. But then he throws his arms up. That's just my opinion."
Well, I trust your opinion.
She seems quite sure that this was the man.
Here's the deal. She also said that, what was it again? Torga?
Tour guide.
The bodyguard.
Torga Icevein.
They said that they're loaded. They're traveling with stolen cargo. So, it's possible we make a little bit more off of this than just 100 gold.
It does seem that we have found ourselves at a crossroads of morality, because we have these towns that are committing these sacrifices. I can't get the accent right. Sacrifices, and we have this gentleman who is now committing murders in the same towns. So the law allows for this kind of behavior by the 10 towns. But it does seem that we are dealing with a little bit of vigilantism from where I am sitting.
Hear me out. What if we're able to catch this guy and offer him up as the sacrifice? It's kind of like killing 2 birds with 1 stone, right?
I don't know if they use a stone to do it, though.
I don't know what they use.
Is he a bird?
The sacrifice is this afternoon, correct?
The lottery is in the afternoon. It's actually later this afternoon.
So if we move fast, maybe we can spare an innocent soul, I guess? If you're into that kind of thing.
I'm not into it. I think there's, I think our friend here is right. Questionable morality.
I do think that this is a better outcome, that this gentleman will pay for his crimes, as opposed to someone finding themselves in a bad fate. I am okay with this.
I'm just hearing win-win.
I'm on board, dude.
And if it puts us one step closer to learning more about this everlasting crime and closer to our individual goals, then so be it.
I am also on board. And then I look at Donar. Dude.
Yo, did you hear him say dude just now? That's like the first cool thing he said. I see it.
He duded you so hard.
They call me Dudar Dracodonian now. Right? Because you...
Fang will perk up.
All right.
No, we're going to get you to make a pun next, man. It's going to be so funny.
Anyway, ignore my...
He'll
ignore
look
my
at
friends,
him.
please.
Bring her back over.
I have an addendum to this proposition you've made for us. Hi to tie.
You see Hiln go over to the bar, order a round of, looks like shots of something, and Ma brings it over on a plate, like 5 little, like, clear liquid, puts it down. Hiln said that you were look a little cold, and needed something to warm your bellies, so here you go.
Oh, absolutely.
Traxel
snatch one.
Traxel immediately take the shot.
Yeah, it's just like straight liquor.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh.
Fang gives it like a first, like a dog, and then takes it.
Yeah, I don't even think about smelling
Water,
it.
please.
Yeah, you can just feel it burn all the way down and just like warm your belly as it hits.
That is good.
Dude, that is fantastic.
I'm gonna go up to Hiln.
Hiln, Hlin.
Oh.
I'm gonna go to Hiln. I'm gonna hand her a piece of paper and say, if we help you do this, I want your help in finding this a gentleman. I'm gonna give her the drawing.
She looks at the wanted poster, and it says, does it have a name on the wanted poster?
No, it's just Trax just drew it himself.
Okay.
But it's like essentially that's kind of what it is, like a police sketch.
Got it. She looks and is like, no, I have not seen this gentleman. Sefik looks like he's human, but he has piercing blue eyes, wears a black leather vest, and he has his hair kind of shaved on the sides.
But you haven't seen this man at all?
She looks at the wanted picture, and she's like, perhaps, if there's a bounty on his head, I might be able to help you, though, after we do my business.
Perhaps we'll talk after. Bye.
So, have you decided? Are you going to help me? Or will I have to find another group of adventurers?
We find ourselves here on individual quests. So you have caught us a little off guard, if I am speaking for the group. But let us make it 200 gold pieces. Seems a dangerous task for individuals who do not know the area.
Saves you a lot of murders, too.
Hey, it seems like we're doing your job for you.
I'll tell you what, 150, and I'll provide you strangers to 10 towns with a very detailed map of the area and the trails and the roads and maps of all the towns.
Fang starts nodding his head, looking at the group. I think that will work for me. I think that's a good deal.
Sounds good to me.
We'll
super
look
down.
into it.
Why?
I'll have to go and get.
Why us?
Because you look different. There are nothing but fishermen and angry villagers here who hate the cold but endure it. You guys look fresh. You bring a little bit of energy to my quest, and the cold is settling in my bones, and I will not be here many more years.
Yeah, why not?
Surely do what we can for you.
I tell you what, I'll bring you the maps tonight, and I'll try to find out where Targs currently is located. She has several dog sleds that she uses to travel from town to town. I don't think she's currently in Targos yet, but I can find out. And maybe I can set you off in the right direction at least.
We appreciate all the help you can give us.
How long until the lottery?
Just a few hours, I believe. Usually the lottery is drawn by the speaker on the steps of Luskan Arms.
Who is eligible? Anybody in the town? Are we eligible?
Citizens of the town who are on the town roster, which is used for we do a census every few years. Anyone who stays in a town more than a 10-day is put onto the roster. You've only been here 5 or 6.
Well, thank goodness for that.
Excellent.
She says, well, meet me back here after the lottery. And she gets up and kind of like taps her pipe out. I will see you soon. And walks out.
I'm not doing the fucking voice anymore. It's stupid.
Hey,
It sounds
Dude,
stupid.
it was so funny.
that time it actually worked.
I couldn't have been the only one laughing. Are you going for comedy? Because you're freaking killing it, dude. Oh, this is the real thing you were talking about. It's like an actual disguise. Oh, fuck, dude. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like hurt your feelings.
It's fine. It's fine.
Just keep working on it.
No, I'm trying to be more attentive. I'm trying to be a better homie. And I want to be a good homie to you. So I'll stop making fun of it.
I think that's the best way to be a better homie to me.
Yeah, anything I can do to any of you to be a better homie, like that's if I can get
I think
real for a second, that's why I'm here.
the best homie is the one that does not talk right now.
Right, like right now, this second, or just in
speaking. Just
This is good. Is a good place to put pin in that. That was good conflict resolution, though. I'm proud of you both.
homies.
Ma comes up, and Ma says, so, now that you're up and about, I have some bad news.
oh, fantastic.
Tonight, my mother-in-law is coming in town, and I promised her that she could stay here, which means you cannot stay here any longer.
Ma, you are
Oh,
kicking.
no, it's so warm here.
You're
Oh
kicking
no, we'll
us
miss
out.
your fish stew so much.
I wish I could. There might be a place at the. You could also go on your trek. You know, I heard the dwarf give you want you to do something for her, the bounty hunter.
Thank you. We'll try
She's
the last
very
rounds.
famous, and she's very famous.
Well, that's just
in
it, Ma.
towns.
That we are to be meeting her back here after the
Oh,
lottery.
I'm so disappointed. I forgot my autograph book.
I tell you what. Come in tonight. I'll get you some drinks on the house.
Okay. Yes.
Maybe that'll keep you warm enough, and then maybe something will open up at Luskan Arms, or you can find someplace else to stay. But unfortunately, I cannot. I have to have that room tonight.
Okay, we understand. We have overstayed our welcome, but you were a hospitable mother for us, and we are grateful for what you have done.
Truly, though.
So we will be back to meet our friend, and we will plan on other lodgings this evening.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks.
And she walks out. What do you do?
Well, should we get this over with and go to the Luskan Arms and see if we can find a lead on this Sephic gentleman?
Sephic.
Seems a good place to start. We can get a feel for Targos around as we walk through it.
Yes, I'm sure it's a thriving metropolis here.
Well, nice things come in small packages sometimes. Look at you.
Oh, because that's you, homie.
I get the reference. Thank you.
You walk outside, and immediately the bitter cold just hits you. You've got your winter clothes on. If you had snowshoes, you lost them in the avalanche. However, you look out over the harbor to the north, and it's just entirely ice. And the ice goes out over the lake for as far as you can see.
Why does nobody leave this place?
Who knows? Guess they like the fish.
Maybe it's warm to them. Maybe they've adapted.
most people like it's really hard to identify. Like everybody looks the same because they all have like hoods and heavy furs. Like from watching people in the tavern, they have like woolen clothes on underneath it and layers. So they when they come in the door in the tavern, they take off all their outer clothes and they just have all these layers on underneath it, and it's just fucking cold.
Is it like a snowy, windy kind of weather, or is it just like a stagnant, icy, like takes your breath away?
Right now it's during the day. There's a slight breeze coming off the lake, but it's very that the walls around the town kind of help keep it from being too windy here. But it's very just biting. It's actually dark out because the clouds overhead, you can't see, you don't know where the sun is. The clouds overhead are just so dark that it's like a twilight.
I'm sure for a fishing town, it can't be advantageous that their entire lake is frozen.
Have you ever heard of ice fishing? It's a lot of fun.
It sounds like a barrel of glass, my friend.
As you cut a hole.
Sounds like a barrel of fish.
Well, you cut a hole in the ice, and the fish are underneath. They can survive this.
I'm sure not so if the entire lake is frozen.
Well, they've done it for 2 years, so clearly they
Fang
figured
is-
it out.
They got a thriving economy. Dude.
Fang is
yes,
looking.
right. This is thriving.
All of you
it's
know,
thriving.
You've seen actually, like if you've been to bigger cities, you've heard of the Icewind Dale's knucklehead trout. They take the bones, the skull of the knucklehead trout, which is a huge fish, and artisans will take it and make beautiful works of art. Scrimshaw, it makes scrimshaw, and it is gorgeous and worth so much money. But everything, you're passing a very few amount of people as you're walking to the north along the shore. You see a few kids out kind of playing on the ice, but the ice is solid. Definitely, they're in no danger. You get to Luskan Arms. Those of you who know, Luskan is a town on the Sword Coast that used to be known as a pirate's haven. The Luskan Arms is just this old, about 100 years old building that looks like a pirate hideout. It's like got like all sorts of nautical stuff just hammered onto the wall. It's got it looks like a naked mermaid that was taken off the bow of a ship, masthead, and stuck onto the point of the roof. So it's up top leaning over the entrance. There's a sign, but the sign is kind of crooked because the pole is sort of like that, and there's icicles just hanging off of it.
I'm gonna tug on Kai's sleeve and kind of pull him down and say, Luskan Arms, it sounds like this might be a good place to keep an eye out for him, so keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Kai's just a little bit flinchy.
Do you say that where everybody can hear that?
No, enough to just where Kai could hear it. No one else. So no one else heard that.
Heard what?
Exactly.
Okay.
I was just focused on the cold, dude. It's in my bones.
It's really not that bad.
Dude, I like warm basements, man. You saw my setup at the Stary. I like it warm, man.
It was really muggy down there. There was some moisture that I did not want to talk about. But you know what?
Yeah, I really tried to investigate that, but I think it's just like the vibe, man. It's just always wet.
I'm pretty sure 90% of your domicile contained mold.
Is that what that was? That was I was coughing all the time, or was it because of the?
You know what? It could have.
Dang.
It's a 50-50
Yeah,
at this point.
either or.
It sounds like you have a problem with motivation.
No, my motor skills are pretty okay. I tried to get through that one, and I, as a player, could not in good time. Let's keep going.
So, do you go inside the Luskan Arms?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll go ahead and lead the charge and burst through the doors
Okay.
because I'm freezing.
It's
Catch you on the flip.
you go inside,
flip?
and
What
it's
are you talking
not
about?
it's not much warmer inside. There's a fire that's sort of just barely kind of like burning embers, and a pot that's hovering above it, but you can see like some ice crystals kind of forming on the lid.
How cozy.
There's as you walk in, the floorboards look not quite the safest. They look a little rotten. And there's a quiet balding man behind the bar. He's cleaning a glass. And he looks up at you. Sup?
You, barkeep. Drinks.
What do you have?
Money. I don't know. What do you have?
I've got the hard stuff, and I've got the ale.
Yes, I'll take both.
I'm not drinking. I want to train a little bit later, so gotta stay light.
Too much alcohol going around.
He brings a gallon of ale and 5 glasses. That's 2 silver pieces. And a short little bottle with a cork in it. And 5 shot glasses. And puts it on the table.
I'm just gonna take the.
I'm not paying.
I'm gonna
for
take
this.
the small bottle and say, "How much was this?"
That's 7 silver.
And I'm just gonna start drinking it myself.
And he goes back behind the bar. There is no one else in here.
The thriving establishment here.
Wasn't that other man supposed to be here? The leader?
Talking about
Sefik?
Nerith? Nerith.
Speaker of Targos.
Speaker.
I don't know. We don't even know who we're looking for.
I imagine Nerith is getting ready for the lottery.
Maybe we need to find. Look, we lost our lodgings. We need to find new lodgings. So perhaps this is the best place to find them.
Is there anybody
Barkeep,
sitting in the inn in the tavern? Is anybody?
There's no one else. Just the
Were they in?
barkeep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Barkeep.
He comes over and is like, my name's Owen.
Yes, fantastic. Do you have lodging?
We do. It's 9 copper a night.
That's fine. Well, we need it, so we'll take it.
He kind of nods, bored, and goes over, grabs some keys off a hook, kind of throws them onto the table. You've got your pick of those 5 back there. If you each want your own room, no one else is here right now.
Another great question. You know a guy named Cephix?
Oh yes, Sefik. He's make a persuasion roll for me.
Okay. Persuasion.
Who's our face? Have we figured that out yet?
I think we have many faces.
Not yet.
We got 5 faces.
Could be anybody.
It's an 18.
He says, Sefik, isn't that Targa's bodyguard?
I believe it is one in the same.
Yeah,
Do
sure.
you know where he is?
Yeah, there's this merchant company that travels around between the 10 towns. A dwarf named Targ.
Sounds right.
I believe that he's her bodyguard.
And where do we find these guys?
Well, they were in town just about 10 days ago, and the closest town to here, Bremen, and going to the west, and Bryn Shander if you go to the east. From there, it's no telling. And a couple of 10 days is long enough time you can get to any of the 10 towns.
Did they know anybody here?
I think they know some of the fishermen. A lot of the fishermen go out to Targs and buy gear.
Tell me, while Sefik was in town in Targos, did you hear anything of a murder or a killing happening?
Oh, I heard about those. Very sad.
Do you know the family?
It was a shipbuilder. His name was Brennan Tarsier, the man who was murdered. It was the shipbuilder's son, actually. He was a good boy.
And
Where did it happen?
good question.
It happened on the Tarsier's doorstep, like he was found on their front stoop, frozen to the floorboards of the porch. It was really awful watching the speaker's men pry him up off of breaking that ice to get to him.
Sounds graphic. Anyway, did he know anyone else in town that we might be able to speak to?
He's really creepy. He kind of creeped me out, so I didn't really get to know him when all their employees were here.
So it sounds like they're not here right now in this town. Like they've ventured to other villages and the cities here.
I think that would be your best bet. They've been here 10 to. You could always wait around, but they come back about once a month and a half.
Where exactly does the Tarsier family live?
If you just go out to.
That's not that far.
Yeah.
Do you think they would be open to visitors right now? I don't mean to pry. I would like to offer my condolences and perhaps ask them a few questions.
It's been about 10 days since the murder. Actually, no. It's been a month since the murder. This actually happened on the night of the new moon.
On the same day as the lottery?
Well, the day the sacrifice is made.
And no justice has been done about it.
Who was chosen as the last
He kind of shrugs his
sacrifice?
The last sacrifice was a teenage boy. I think his name was Henry.
Oh, and is this normally a slow time for you during the day or during the year? Like, is this the usual clientele?
Well, the fishermen have to push their boats out across the ice to get to any sort of open sea, the open water.
Wow.
So there's no one here. All the workers are out on the lake or in a boat somewhere.
Interesting. Well, we appreciate your lodgings for the evening.
He kind of nods his head slowly.
Okay.
He says, I think they're announcing the lottery in a few hours on the front stoop.
Perhaps we should be privy to that information on who's selected.
Yes, I would like to be there to see how they conduct the business, but I wouldn't mind paying a visit to the Tarsiers.
Okay. You've got enough time, you think. It's only a few blocks away.
Well, then let's go talk to them. I don't care.
So you just walk up the shore, and the ice is crunching underneath your boots. And you see the shipbuilder's residence. There's a house, and right next to it is a large kind of warehouse-looking building that's long and large double doors, which are actually closed right now. And you see lots of lumber underneath a tarp next to it. You see some people walking by. It looks like there's people kind of walking toward the Luskan Arms slowly. But you can't really see any expressions. They've got their hoods up really close over their face to brace against the biting wind.
I'm keeping eyes on... I'm constantly scanning for the same kind of like piercing blue eyes as mine as I'm looking through.
Got it.
Just personally.
Make a perception roll just to kind of notice.
That's a 19.
19. You manage to kind of catch some faces as the wind kind of blows the hood back for a second. The person brings it back over their face tightly, but you don't see any piercing blue eyes.
As we approach the Tarsiers, I want to look at the front stoop where the crime took place. Is there any evidence?
Like, everything's covered in ice, and you actually see that looks like there used to be a cloth, but it's been kind of blown and then flash frozen. So it's like kind of like wrapped around, but you see spots of blood on the ice, and the ice is so thick that it's impossible to get up unless they burn it away somehow, melt it.
How terribly macabre.
Sad too.
Very unfortunate.
So what do you do?
Fang will walk up the stairs of the stoop. I assume there are stairs, and I give a polite on the front door.
Okay. The one thing you're noticing about all these houses too is that their roofs are really steep slopes, so that snow just falls right off. So there's big piles of snow on either side of the house that almost go up to the roof. You hear kind of somebody walking up to it, and the door opens slightly, but there's like a chain, and you see a woman's face kind of like peek out halfway. And she's like, hello? She looks to be in her 40s.
Fang kind of stays back because he knows he's real big. He's real built and almost like about 6 feet, and those sharp teeth. He's intimidating, so he kind of stands back, but so she could still see him, and he gives a little polite little wave. Hello. Is this the Tarsier residence?
Yes. Aren't you those? She kind of looks past you. Aren't you those boys they brought in from the avalanche?
Indeed we are,
Reputation
yes.
precedes us.
Dude, it does. That's awesome.
It's good to see you boys up and about. And she kind of opens it up a little bit more. The chain is like still chained, but just enough where you can see her whole body. She's like, how can I help you?
Well, I just, forgive me for intruding on your peaceful afternoon, but I would like to question you a little bit about the circumstances of a Brennan Tarsier.
And she starts to cry a little bit.
Oh, fantastic bedside manner there, Fang.
Forgive me, I've seized that I have upset you. I do not mean...
Oh, wow, who would have known speaking about a dead person would have brought such a,
We have been hired to find the person who did this, and any information you can give us will be helpful.
Mud with the facts.
We only look for justice.
Tell her, Mud.
She smiles and says, I'm not sure whether this was Arl's doing or not. The knife of ice in his heart. But you've been hired to bring justice to my boy.
We have.
Hear a click clink and opens the door. Come in, please. I've got a fire going, but I don't know how long it'll last, but please come in.
Do you have any food? Do you have anything to eat, drink?
Trex.
Looks at you. She looks a little frail. Like she had.
Mud is gonna do the thing where he plays up his age and kind of walking staff, hubble in and like take her hand, do like the kind of old man, like, you know.
Here we go.
Nod
Thank you.
Following that lead, Donar's gonna walk up and say, would you like us to make you something to eat? Because it looks like maybe in these uncertain times, it's been difficult to get a meal.
It's been.
I would be happy to whip up something.
I've just been, since I lost my boy, I haven't been able to keep anything down. I've been hurting so bad. It's all my husband's fault.
Your husband's fault.
Not to pry, but if you need an ear to talk on.
Rumor has it that my son's name was drawn in the lottery last month.
Rumor has it. So, do you not know? Is that not public knowledge?
Well,
it was drawn?
The speaker's the one who draws the names. However, somebody who works for the speaker told me, like after my son died, my husband paid a bribe to the speaker so that my son could live.
Seems there's no escaping fate.
Arl's wrath, and she kind of like looking up at the sky fearfully as she says Arl's name. And she says, I don't know if she's going to come for me next. I don't know what to do. My boy is gone.
Let's get you something to eat first.
Okay.
You all, and Donar's going to kind of take control of the kitchen.
You take her to the table and she sits down. She's just crying.
Just sit. My homies will talk to you. I'll find you some nice sup in your kitchen. And I'm going to root around and make her a meal.
She doesn't have a
humans?
lot. They are human, yes.
Okay.
She has some like capes and cloaks there. And she's got one over her right now, but she's just wearing like woolen clothes underneath it. And she's taking the cape and kind of wiping her eyes. You find some dried fish, and she's got a stew, actually has a stew over the fire pot actually going right now. You see like some dishes piled up in the kitchen. She's like weeping uncontrollably now.
Fang has taken her hand and is trying to be as calming as he can, with whatever, not using magic on her, but like his cleric is coming out a little bit, and he says, I understand that this is a fresh wound for you, and we do not intend to rip it open again. But what drew Sefik to your son? If you think that your son was drawn into
Who is Sefik?
we think, and I look at the rest of the group, kind of wide-eyed, that like maybe he said too much, and he turns back and he says, "We think that this is the gentleman who."
She looks up hopefully. She's like, "You know who killed my boy?"
We think
We have a lead.
this is the gentleman, and Fang kind of like gets a little nervous that like maybe he's in over his head.
She's like, gets up, runs to this chest, and like, she's like pulling out furs, and she's got 5 furs, and she brings them to you and says, "These have been in my family for generations. They've kept us warm. If you could, please," she just hands them to you, and it's like,
Okay.
No.
All right.
like, please, if you can kill that bastard who killed my boy, these are yours. It's all I have.
Yeah, you can keep it. I don't need it.
I've already got it on.
Same.
Ah, thank you.
Very gently hand back the fur.
This is very
Dude, if
cozy.
you don't want yours, I'll fully wear double. I don't care. These are the comfiest shit ever.
Fang is holding his, not wearing it and not giving it back necessarily, but he says, "Miss Tarsier, we do not expect any payment of furs or coin for this. We are on this quest anyway, and we are getting paid for our services. So I do not want
Look,
to."
it's rude to not accept someone's gift.
And he hears that, and he looks back at her and he says, "If it is your will, I will accept this gift with love, but I do not want to strip you of your only values."
I would. My life doesn't have any meaning now that my boy is gone. And she starts crying again.
Here we go again.
But you know what does have meaning? And Donar's gonna bring over a bowl of the stew, and he's like charred pieces of dried fish by the fire as like a little crunchy garnish on top. And he's gonna say, "Fish soup a la Donar the Pliable."
Donar.
This may actually help.
You can't come in here 5 minutes left of the cooking and claim that it is your dish.
But I did the crunchy garnish, dude.
What would be a cooking challenge, like skill roll?
That performance
Survival?
Dexterity?
It would be
Survival.
because intelligence.
Charisma?
Intelligence is because it is a performance.
Yeah. Intelligence, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think an intelligence performance check. So yeah, if you're
Oh no. Because my performance is +4, but my intelligence is -1. All right. So is that just a roll with my intelligence?
let's
modifier
because you
going
have a better performance. Let's just use performance then, because it's
Okay.
something you're skilled at.
That's an nat 20.
First of the
Yeah, it
year.
For a 24.
She eats it and looks at you and says, she's just stunned and like actually like starts eating it. Like, what did you do to my stew? This is wonderful.
So I'm going to take her hand and then start the sentence looking at her, but finish it looking at Trax. And I'm going to say, "I added, turn, a crunchy garnish."
I'm gonna give it a slow clap.
Do not question my knowledge of soup.
Oh, woe is me. I shall never question
You
your
have
knowledge
won
of soup
her
again.
over. You're going to find my son's murderer. You're going to cook me the best meal I've ever had my entire life. What brought you here?
Snowstorm.
Garrett.
Garrett the Snowstorm.
This
Boom.
is true. We do owe our lives to a man named Garrett. He had a great beard, I say. I remember.
She kind of shakes her head and like, I don't know Garrett, unfortunately.
But there's like 30 people here.
Well, Targos actually
There's
has
just 6 in the room.
Yeah.
It seems like a much bigger town.
Yeah, Targos has 1,000 people in it. So
Perhaps fate is the only answer you need.
I like this. We will go with fate.
will you let me know if you are able to find the bastard who killed my boy?
Trax with his new furs, just like, we will.
Are the furs helpful to us? Like, are they different than our
They're
cold gear?
winter. They're just like winter clothing, so they look nice. They look like well made.
I'll definitely wear mine out of respect to her. and with a little bow, and maybe I'll kiss her hand a little bit because she was so sweet, and say
They look like it's like kind of a brown, long fur, like a mammoth fur, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
I will accept the fur when we return to you successful.
And until then, I will wear Mud's fur on top of my own.
Anything that will help. Anything.
We will do our best, Miss Tarsi.
Did you have anything to drink? Was there anything?
You have to stop.
All I have is some ale. We have a little bit of water, but it's hard to
Ale,
keep it.
done. I'll take it.
We've
Thank you.
taken enough from this woman.
As before she can give it to us, I start to usher. I give Trax a little like boo out the door, which is
Okay. I'll be back for it.
thank you, thanks, and pushing him out.
On the way out, I'm giving her cooking instructions, just like char the fish, open flame, just until it becomes aromatic, and then it's done.
Mhm.
I'll be the last out. Also, again, just like hobbling out and do a hat tip as I leave.
And she actually kind of comes up to you and gives you a hug. It tries to. Like, big hug.
Got a big shell.
Yeah. And as you walk out, you look to the south and you see a large crowd is gathered outside the Luskan Arms.
It appears the show is about to begin.
Okay,
Now we got to be.
I've got an idea, but we gotta go fast.
What's the idea?
We have mud here. We're not moving anywhere fast.
We gotta make the speaker.
Oh, dude, that's
Okay.
actually kind of harsh.
We gotta make the speaker choose me.
Just can you
go
volunteer?
Volunteer?
No, not directly.
Like, offer yourself up as a tribute of
just
sorts.
come with me. And I start dashing towards where the people
Oh,
are.
here we
meeting.
go.
Okay. You see the speaker. He's a man wearing blue cloak and like heavy leather gloves. He's got hair and a widow's peak, and it's pulled back, graying at the temples. And he's got just a chin strap beard, no mustache. And there is a large bowl with things in it. And you see a man standing next to him, and he's holding kind of an umbrella to brace against the snow, and another man holding a lantern up so that he can see to read. And the crowd is silent. They're just sitting there kind of like praying. And you see people holding holy symbols and praying. You see, actually hear people praying to Arl, just like, Arl, don't pick me. I can. And they're like pleading with the Frostmaiden to save them.
The mood is heavy here.
As I'm running, I'm gonna pull a strip of paper out of my pack, and I'm going to hurriedly scribble my name down on a piece of paper. And I'm trying to break straight for the ball.
Okay.
Are they surrounding the bowl right now?
They're up on the steps. The stoop is like 3 stairs up, like on the edge, and the crowd is on the ground, the icy ground.
Okay, then as he darts for the bowl, I am going to catch his drift, and I'm going to run the other direction, like maybe a hard left, and I'm going to unhook my mace, which looks like an old England lantern, a wrought iron lantern, and I'm gonna hold it up once I get to the edge of the group and he gets close. I'm gonna hold it up high in the air and cast light on it, and start just doing a spin over my head, kind of like diversion to draw attention my way.
Make a deception roll, I guess, just to see how many people you draw their attention. Or people are
Can I
actually people in
help
the
him
crowd.
by drawing attention to it? Can I aid him in any
Yes.
way?
How are you going to do that?
Whoa, spinning, everyone! This is the coolest thing you've ever seen.
Do a what check? I'm so sorry.
Look at that's so much light.
Yeah, make a deception.
Deception.
Yes.
That's a 4.
You're at advantage because you're being aided by
excellent.
Donar.
Do another pliable.
That's a 12.
That's 12. A lot of people in the crowd, like the entire crowd, kind of turns and starts murmuring as you're coming up. They don't see Kai. Kai, are you being stealthy?
Yes.
Kind of trying to be like stick to the shadows as you run up. Make an acrobatics roll to get up onto the porch.
That is a 20.
20. Yeah, you just like
As he gets up there, is Nerith looking at me yet?
Nerith is looking at you.
And, like, are they not paying attention to the bowl and everything? They're distracted as well.
He's not paying attention to the bowl. The guards are like scanning the crowd. They don't seem to be fooled by your distraction.
As long as Nerith's looking at me, cool.
Yeah, Nerith is looking at you. Yes.
As a final little effort in order to disguise what's happening, I'm going to take out my pistol and fire it into the air.
And Mud's gonna keel over.
Yes.
Are you improving?
He's just laying on the ground.
So this loud report comes from your pistol. Phew! You see snow that has been like on the roof of the Luskan Inn that's been like kind of building up, like, and it falls to the side. You hear like, and snow kind of flies into the air like powder, and everybody's looking around confused. Kai, what are you going to do? You hear the guards like, "Stay back! Stay back! Stay back!"
As I approach the steps, I'm gonna fold the paper into like a weird little triangle.
Mm-hmm.
Some origami.
Okay.
And as I approach, I'm going to sleight of hand to toss it in the bowl.
Okay.
And I'm going to continue to the speaker.
So you're not being stealthy anymore. You're kind of approaching this group. Okay. Roll it. This is not combat, but roll initiative.
Okay. Oh, yeah. 22.
Okay, this is the guard. Yeah, the guard who's holding, like, he's starting to turn to try to keep you from getting close. And he's the guy holding the umbrella on the left side of the speaker. And so you get up, what do you do?
I'm going to throw my arms open and say, "Greg!" And I'm going to try and hug the speaker.
Okay. Greg. Okay.
Did you just say Greg?
Are you doing your sleight of hand first to try to toss it into
Yeah, I'm like flipping that into the bowl first.
Yeah, sleight of hand.
Alright, sleight of hand. Oh gosh, it's so good to be playing a Dexy character again. That's an 18.
18. You just like, you hear it right in. The guard who is protecting the speaker is like, whoa, puts his hand up. You manage to kind of sneak past it, and you just wrap your arms around him. Nerith, he's like, got a hawkish nose, and he looks down. He's a little bit taller than you, and he's like, whoa. What did you call him? Gary?
Greg.
Gary.
It's like, don't you know who I am?
I'm gonna quickly whisper in his ear and say, "Pick the triangle and I'll give you 20 gold."
Make a persuasion roll.
Oh wow, 17.
They used to call me Greg. Everything's okay. Everything's okay.
Thought he was my cousin. Sorry about that.
Greg
so
Reicher.
sorry, sir.
Greg.
Fang's mace is just frozen in the air and his jaw's dropped. He can't believe that all that just worked. He's like, what is going on right now? This is crazy.
Okay, what name did you put on the slip of paper, by the way? Is that your own name?
I put Kai Raiju.
Okay. And he looks down at the bowl and sees the kind of like the little origami with the pointing up. And he like reaches down. He's like, "It's good to see you. We'll talk after."
Yeah, sure.
And you hear others of you, the other four, you hear people in the crowd being like, something's up. Like there's some sort of, somebody's going to get, like there's rumors, like they're talking about somebody's getting conned. Somebody just got paid off to get, like, not get chosen. Like people are sure this is what's happening. And you see him, he's like he ushers you, the guards usher you back down in the crowd. He's like, "We'll talk later." And he reaches into the bowl, pulls out.
He's fine.
Opens it up. "Kai Raiju?" will be the unfortunate sacrifice to Arl the Frostmaiden,
What the fuck, man? I thought we had a deal.
who, and everybody's like, who? We don't know. And all of a sudden you hear people say, it's one of the survivors. They haven't been here in town long enough. And you see, this is the name that has been drawn. Arl's wishes are known to us. He looks to you and walks down to you and kind of like closely holds his hand out, gives you a hug. Do you give the 20 gold?
I'm gonna slip it in his pocket.
Okay.
Well, this was a gambit. It better work.
Yeah, as that is happening, Fang walks up to just a bystander and says, by the way, how is one sacrificed?
Oh, you don't know?
I feel like I should by now, but I don't.
It's horrifying. They're stripped naked, taken out to the ice that's outside of town, and water is thrown on them, and they're frozen to the mound of ice outside of town.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of hilarious that Kai signed up for that, but I can do.
Thank you. Just not all the towns do it the same. We just.
We know. We like to think. And he's kind of looking. This person you're talking to, it's looks like a young fisherman. He's like, I like to think we do it best. He winks at you,
and he gives like Fang's genuine smiles are kind of frightening, but Fang's like fake smile is like real nasty grimace.
Yeah.
And he gives that kind of like kind of like big mouth smile with wide eyes.
He kind of nods. He's like, ooh. Okay. And he walks away. So as is tradition, Kai will be afforded the best room here at the Luskan Arms. And on the eve of the new moon, taken out to the ice slab, stripped bare, and frozen to with buckets of water, and frozen to the ice slab, and sacrificed to the Frostmaiden.
That's really gonna chafe my willy.
I want to thank Wizards of the Coast for making D&D, and Syrinscape for the awesome audio. Thank you so much for listening to Severed Sons, and stay frosty!